Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for those of you that waited for me because yesterday, when I usually have my lives on Sunday, my stomach was giving me all kinds of trouble. And I thought, maybe I can do this. And at the last minute was a clear no, you're not doing this. So thank you for understanding and uh, being flexible. I also want to, hey, JR, want to thank all of you for continuing to be subscribers, and that means a lot. And I appreciate your patience with my videos and lives and technical issues that are going on. Hey, Gina, I believe that there are still issues going on for people when they do a live with echoing. Um, I saw that much, at least again, when I checked in on Deanne's video uh, with Linda and I think it's Tanya. And, anyways, so I'm really hoping to avoid that because I would love to do another collab with my friend Deanne and hopefully Linda. I've done one with Linda a long time ago, but I'm really not kind of in the cliques that are out there. And not saying that to be mean. It's just when you have health issues, you have to kind of go it at a more independent, fashion. Yeah, I will. I will throw some cards on. I wanted to throw some cards. I think my sound is good. Let me know about my sound and picture. Um, pardon. Let me get a sip of coffee. Your birthday was July 9th. Anything? Okay, got it. You got it. And JR, yes. And thank you, Gina. Thank you for that super sticker. Good question. I'll put that in there. I've been very curious. Thank you, Zena. You look so beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I put on some makeup today. I felt like it. I've got my hair pulled back. My hair gets my neck hot sometimes. So I might have to pull it up. Anyway, let me just see how this is going on. Okay, it looks fine on the other end. Just always have to check on YouTube's end. There we go. Looks good. Okay, so far so good. Back over to StreamYard. And any messages from the divine. Ooh, okay. I think we're at our limit now. I'll just say, that's a good question. Okay, now I'm going to take the ones I've got, which are a few, folks. It's over 5, but I'm going to stop right here and just say, you know, no more questions. I'm a little over, but I don't mind as long as you don't mind and whoever wants to that's a good one. All right, let's just oh, thank you, Isadora, my magic mod. And Twin Flames Cult being rated by what is it? The my oh AG Pan Out. Hmm. Thank you, Isabel. I really appreciate it. I like your mug. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm just all I can be is myself. I'm never been good at faking it, not good at lying, don't like lies. What you see is what you get, for better or for worse. So let's see. We have got quite a few questions here, but we're gonna do them because doggone it, I said so. Okay. All right. And now, Michigan Attorney General, thank you. I figured it was probably something as such. Trying to get comfortable. Ah, my shirt's riding up. All right. Let me get my sips of coffee. We're going to look firstly at the Epstein files, all right? And is my hair pulled up? Oh, okay, that's fine. I just I've just tapped the thumbs up. Would anyone care to join me? Yes, that would be wonderful if you will put the thumbs up, folks. My little channel, Chugga Chug Chug, is going along, doing my best. I'm not, like I've said, I don't tend to be in a lot of the tarot clicks that are out there. It's just mostly because of my health. And I've always tended to be more independent. Find it just works out better for me. So I will be doing a few more. Ooh, sip that coffee tea. Gonna join you. I will be doing a few more collaborations as soon as I can figure out what is causing the echo. You know, apparently other people are having it, and the only way to find out is by trying to have a collab. Twin Flames is bad, bad people. I'm thrilled because someone is stepping in. Now, I haven't heard of it. I'm going to have to look that up, you guys. Sorry. My brush my hair and it either sticks in my lipstick or ah. So this Twin Flames cult, there's so many little cults out there now. I've been hearing more and more about them. Yeah, here we go. What have we got? It's an organization, an online community and organization called Twin Flames Universe, TFU for short, led by Jeff and I think her name might be pronounced Shelia Divine, like spelled like, I think, like the divine. No ego involved here, clearly. Um, which has been described as by former members and experts as cult-like. Oh boy. All right. And I'm just going to read you what they say here. I'm trying to get my feed to sound a little cleaner. Coercive control manipulation, forced relationships and gender identity, financial exploitation, isolation and stalking, and then they make religious and spiritual claims. I guess Jeff and Shelia Divine claim to have special spiritual powers to confirm members' twin flames and have established the Church of Union to unify all religion under one spiritual umbrella. And so the summary is that Twin Flames universe built around the spiritual concept of twin flames has faced significant accusations of operating as a cult, exploiting members through manipulative practices, and isolating individuals from their support systems. Um, there's documentaries on them. 2023 put out one called Desperately Seeking Soulmates, Escaping Twin Flames Universe, and that's on Prime Video. And then there is apparently um, another one on Netflix, which is called Escaping Twin Flames, both of which explore the allegations against this organization. And July 2025, the Michigan Attorney General's office confirmed an open criminal investigation into this Twin Flames universe, TFU, and its leadership. Okay. Just to give a little more background information. Yeah, it is and typically is just a term, but somebody's gone out there and taken the concept and made it into something that they can use as a cult. Because people are so, why are people so tripped out on control and needing to control other people? I have no desire to control other people. I work on myself. I find myself to be enough of a challenge. What is this with human beings and this weird sadistic need to control others? I don't get it. Anyway, all right, that's what we have. We'll be taking a look at that. Okay, just looking at your comments. I've been a sub for 4 years. Thank you so much, JR. I appreciate that. You're an OG. All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Epstein. Yeah, because they find themselves small. And I think these people clearly, anytime someone does this kind of thing, they're not comfortable with themselves. They're not in truth. Because when you're comfortable with yourself, you don't need all this stuff. It sounds as absurd as it does, you know? Very true. Thank you. And it is disgusting and control based. And just for the record, twin flames are not bad. It's to me, it's just another way of what's become a trend to say somebody that you're kindred to, in a spiritual means, very, very tight, you know? People are, yeah, very vulnerable and gullible, and they fall for such because they're seeking answers. And this can be some unknown territory, and you don't really get to know people until you've known them for at least a year, to see what they're like. And so you meet these people, and you invest. Mm. Let the Fresh Erin on YouTube has covered TFU extensively. I will take a look at that um, for sure. The other thing I'm going to be doing coming up, I've just been waiting for health issues and for a quiet period to be able to record it. Will be on, what was I just, I'm blanking on her name. Uh, uh, uh. She was investigating JFK, Dorothy Kilgallen. I will be doing a deep dive on that coming up, and I'm going to be also trying to catch up on other requests for like Bon Scott, and just want to put that out there that that's what's going on. Just trying to get the time and the moment has been difficult. All right, so for now, let's just go ahead and I don't know. I got a new Sibylla card deck from what's his name? tarotcollectibles.com, but there's a guy that does this. Well, this one's by Christine Aguiar. Little booklet comes with it. And I might pull this deck out and use it. But since we're looking at Epstein, I need something more of like governance or predictions deck first. So I think I'm going to try a few things here. All right. First, the tarot and just asking about the list. Yes, no. Then I'm going to see what I get with Trish James decks. So right now, let me just take this question off the thing off and post what I'm covering. Okay, this is on the, probably not going to spell this right. Epstein files. All right. That's, anyway, so we all know that there's got to be some sort of ledger of some kind with clients, friends, whatever you want to call them, the names of people that were regularly attending um, Jeffrey's parties over at his place and wherever he had them. We know that because we have pictures even of the likes of the royal families, Andy, Prince Andrew being involved in that, him being even at Epstein's place. There's a picture of him answering the door, for God's sake. And if you don't think that they aren't big players behind this, don't kid yourself. So we know that there's definitely got to be some sort of a list. Now, why all of a sudden is there no list? When before the Trump administration was crowing about how they were, boy, is there a list. And we're going to show you that list. Yes, there's all kinds of people involved and all kinds of people that have power and money to make others disappear. And Virginia's death recently, some people have found it suspicious. I don't really know what to make of it. Um, Supposedly, Isadora is saying that Epstein took a video of DJT with a group of young girls in a bed. I believe that that's all very possible. And if they want to say that, oh, there's no list, that's ridiculous. The whole point of this was to ingratiate himself within pillars of power, Epstein. So he certainly has taken photos and probably more because that's part of the debauchery is the voyeurism, and certainly it would be for blackmail purposes. They're eating the files, they're eating the lists. Yeah, right? Suddenly now Trump is all the people are all they don't know. So let's just see with the cards. But let's just see what cards we get. Is there a list or a ledger of some sort? This one wanted to jump out. Five of Wands. This is where you battle. This is where you argue. This is where you fight. This is heated exchange. That one flopped right out. That's the, our heated arguments. So I think we know what's ahead. There's actually two lists now. Um, we may never see the real one, right? Some very important people are there. And I think I was just going to say, I think people are going to make up their own lists of people that they don't like and say, this is the real list. And you know what I mean. So don't be surprised. Um, so anyway, there's going to be competition, debate, and defense on this because there are people that have a lot to defend because they're guilty. And there are people that are going to want to also debate this, find out what the hell, what's happened. And most definitely that this is part of the words on this card deck. You can't see it as very, very well, but the competition, you know, let's see what we get. Okay. So that was a yes to me, because why would you fight over something that would be non existent? Why would people be so, yeah, it just doesn't make How did Pam Bondi mistakenly see a list, right? Wasn't she one of the crowers saying, oh, we got a list? And then magically, up, doesn't exist. What is this, Pam? What did you do with it? We know you're just, the talking sock puppet, but for real. And Rotten is blaming the Dems, right? I don't be surprised if they don't make, yeah, that's what I was talking about. A list of people that they want to put in there. Um, I think that, you know, some people that have this information would be really scared to put this out there. Not for nothing, the royal family has connections. And if you drag them into this, I think you might end up in a very unhealthy, unalive situation. Let me put it that way. And there are Dems on the list. Bill Clinton, I'm not surprised he was a pervert. I'm sure he probably went there several times. I don't, debate that. I don't care if there's Dems on there or not. Get it out. Get it out. But don't tap dance and say one day boy, have we got a list to, there is no list. You know what I'm saying? It's such a load of malarkey and it's so, um, not true. All right. So yes, no, just again, is there a ledger, uh, and evidence of, frequent flyers with the Epstein airline, despite the debate. That's amazing how that first card that went to jump out is telling us, yeah. And people are fighting about this. All right, let's see what we get. We do need a lot of purging. And actually, this is the right time. We are where we need to be, despite how unpleasant it is. You know, all right, let's take a look at this. I feel like ah, there. All right. See what we're going to get. We get the Four of Wands. Well, this is usually about home and residence and usually family home. But I think also sometimes for me, realty, property. I'm going to say the island and the sun. So, yes, about people going to that island, to that place he had there, that property, and maybe other properties too. That I'm sure he didn't just have one property. So I'm getting with the sun, there's the exposure. And there are little words around these halos on these cards of people and stuff. And the Four of Wands is creativity, union, and freedom. But it's also with the sun, light, life, energy, and it says that over and over again. It's also exposure. That is the brightest light. And so this is a definite yes, there's a list. And they might be people as well that could be considered family people, as well with that Four of Wands card. Um, and it's, I think, different properties, not just probably that island. Whatever Jeffrey had access to, you know? Yeah, I just read that Epstein said that Melania first slept with ugh, Trump on his plane. And I think Trump and anyone else would be very naive to think that Jeffrey didn't have cameras to record this, just in case he had to use it. We're getting also the Seven of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. There are people that are defending themselves and they're using their family money and very wealthy people connected. So, how interesting is it that the cards are saying right from the get go, people are going to fight about this. There's going to be debate about this, trying to defend themselves. More comes here again that, yeah, maybe Ketamine Boy has the list or at least some of that info, um, because we have issues here of challenge and somebody that's going to, I think, well, The rest of us just not letting this go. But what we're up against is family money and people that have that kind of power. But yes, it's there. Just as we thought. I just like to see what the cards are going to say. Now, let's just see. I'm curious with this deck since I've got it. And I'm going to use a couple others on this. I hope y'all don't mind. Um, if it will ever be revealed, they probably are all blackmailing each other. So let's see. Will the accurate list of the guilty who took part in the Epstein shenanigans with minors, will that ever be leaked to the public? I have this weird feeling that it will. And I'm kind of surprised by that. And that's why I kind of want to look at that because it's like there's more of a part of me, common sense wise, says, I doubt we'll ever see it. But then there's a hinky kind of I don't know, a sense that we might see this leaked. So let's see, will an accurate ledger of names guilty of being part of this Epstein stuff ever get leaked to the public? Is it going to get leaked? Again, I'm getting a yes intuitively. And it's weird. I got a war within myself. Ace of Swords. It's going to come out. Ace of Swords. Change, decisions, action, success. I really like this deck. I like the artwork in it. And the King of Pentacles. Oh my God. So this might be the person that's going to do it. This would be a business person. It could be um, Mr. Mr. Elon, Mr. Ketamine Boy. There is some masculine energy that has links to finance, links to business, King of Pentacles, that will bring this out. Okay, what else are we going to get? The Three of Cups. This is the party wagon, if you ask me. There's money in revealing the list. Yes. And the Knight of Cups. So to me, yes, someone makes an approach with this and it's clear. It is clear. And it's not going to be super questionable with that Ace of Swords. It's going to be like crystal for, I think, people to go, uh-huh. And then we're being shown friendships. Well, I'm sure this could be friendships that surrounded Epstein. And this is often when the Knight of Cups is making an offer, and often it's connected to intimate things sometimes. And we have this going on as a party. And that's from what I understood, that's kind of what it did. But with the Six of Swords, we get discovery and moving on. So someone I think is going to offer this list of socializers that went and that were friends with him. And it looks like somebody with money with the King of Pentacles. And we get the Knight of Cups and the Six of Swords, and things are going to move forward. There's discovery, the word actually discovery there. And there's a bit of a quest as well with this. So I think it's also now become a quest to find it. Let's just ask. We're getting a King of Wands now with this. This question, I was asking if it will ever be leaked or come out, and we get what looks like the King of Pentacles, but probably taking action. Now we see a King of Wands stepping in to bring balance, to bring further, and his card is honor, standards, motivation, and wisdom. And this is guidance, moderation. So I think we are going to get answers. Elon, yeah, some business person, I think likely Elon or someone maybe like him. And he sure seems like he would be the one out of all of them that would probably do something like this. Um, I think somebody's definitely coming forward with it. And it could be that there's going to be a top three that, took part. Because often when I get that three, you'll get like three people often that are key. That was just so insane. Thank you, JR. Sometimes, I think that my uh, alignment is really good and have my good days, I have my good days. Some days, not so much. But that's why I'm trying to kind of take it easy because I hate not giving people accurate readings if and what I found when I push myself too much, I'm more than likely going to make a mistake. But let's just ask if that list, yes, no, is gone digital. Has that list, because I feel in my head, I see it as being like notebook and some kind of ledgers originally when they were in Epstein's, you know, cause. Now let's just see. Has this list been digitalized? Yes or no? Has this list been digitalized? Thank you, Isabel. It's really honestly been since I was little, and I was really oddly, and I think I came into the world being kind of choosing to be more isolated, not having kids my own age to play with, so I had to play with myself. Anyway, um, I had to entertain myself, and I maintained a spiritual connection. I've always been interested in the divine and believed in the divine and had experiences since I was young. So I know it's there, but even though that may be, it doesn't mean everything I say is 100. I'm just like anyone else. I'm in a human body, and that's going to limit my ability to have super clear access to that all truth that is out there. But sometimes we can kind of cut through and get it. That's my idea anyway. So let's see. Has this list been digitalized in some form? Yes or no? I'm getting the lovers. Both. I think there are both written lists and digital. I think it's been stored in a couple of different manners. And this definitely deals with intimacy. And yes, we do have free will. This is only a likelihood when you use the cards. It gives you the most likely if things continue as they do. But sometimes things can change. And that's a lesson I learned that you really must, even though you may have read on something for the 100th time, read again, you know, because it can change. And the Four of Cups. So There's yearning, disillusion, and boredom. I think somebody that has this information, I don't think that they really care so much about it. It keeps giving me that feeling of someone like Elon. He certainly could probably get his hands on it. Hi, Fiona. Thank you so much for joining us. So, I believe someone is going to leak it. I do think we will get a true uh, exposure of that list from what I've gotten, and I believe that there's a couple, and there may be literally a couple that of people that have the list, I'd say, and have copies. I think there's more than one way also that they've been stored, the information's been stored. All right. Now I want to try, oh, King of Cups, just going to pull it real quick. And the Three of Pentacles, the three. See what I was talking about? Keeps coming up. Now there's more than one. So the King of Cups is another one that is going to be someone that's on that list, is my feeling. I'll have to look at that again. There's big names, big names. All right, let's see. All right, I've got to put this deck back. All right. So I don't lose everything. All right. Oh, I forgot to put the little booklet back. I'm wondering too. And yeah, ER. I'm sorry. My brain. Elon has to get his money's worth. And DT isn't holding up his end of the bargain. And, Elon isn't going to, he's a nuisance. He's not going to go away. So Trump's got to learn that. These people that he lines up with and he says are so great, and then they fall out. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let's see. What was I going to look at furthermore in this list? Sometimes I wonder if, oh yeah, MT was underage when she met DT. I don't think she was, but she was young. I think she started out probably fairly young, getting into that scene, of meeting rich men. There's not a lot of work back there. I mean, she came from a fairly well-to-do family. It's not like she was hurting, but I'm sure she wanted to get the hell out of there. Exactly, Isadora. It's a mutual transactional marriage. She's his arm candy. She knows it. It isn't love. Ah, yes, Leon is a fly that keeps landing on your plate at the barbecue. Yep. He is the shoe, the shoe. He is the gum on the bottom of your shoe. Let's see. There was something though more to this list before I move on. Okay. So we see it getting exposed. Let's see. What did I want to ask around that? I'm sure I'll think of it later. Um, will someone expose this list within the next 6 months? Let's give a time window. Will someone within the next, I'm trying to be generous, but not too long. Will someone within the next 6 months leak this information, leak the list of those in, you know, friending, all chummy with Epstein that engaged in inappropriate behavior? In the next 6 months, Will there be a leak of that information? Because people are not letting it, even MAGA is not letting this go. And I think Trump's making the mistake of they've already kind of let it out. Oh, there's no list. Try walking that back. But I'm sure they will. All right. In the next 6 months, will this accurate list be leaked? Huh, I get communist country. Putin certainly has probably a list. Trusted advisor. Well, Elon was a trusted advisor. So I would say, yeah. And maybe this is the way the cards are kind of helping us to look at Russia and at Elon, where this leak is concerned. Let me just see the questions here. Okay. And Artist Liz says, I believe that Mr. P sent Mel via Epstein to meet the Orange. I always believed she is a Russian agent. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So if we do get a leak, I think we can look at a trusted advisor and a certain communist country or former communist country, whatever you want to call it now. It's just a dictatorship. Um, ha, and I get classified information. So this is very special, but I also get a no. External influence. So outside influences are going to push this to leak. Domestic priority. It is. This is what's on everyone's talking about, especially MAGA, because that was one of the deals that they were like, come on, man, we want to see the list. And we all admittedly that aren't MAGA did too. So let's see what's going to happen with that. I guess it's just going to leak. And I'm getting, yeah, it's going to leak within the next 6 months, maybe sooner. We'll just have to watch. But that information is likely to be leaked, likely connected to maybe China, Russia, communist based kind of connected countries, and somebody that was an advisor. And that could be Leon. That could also be Mr. P, because Putin was basically advising Trump what to do. Now that Trump's taken a notion to play some games where he's being friendly now toward Ukraine, which I'm glad for, but I think it's not going to sit well with Putin. So, yeah, Melania's uncle is a general in the Russian army. That doesn't surprise me. Very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. So, let me just ask one question, though. How will this be for Trump if the Epstein list gets leaked? I'm going to use the governance oracle to see if I can get an answer that makes any sense with the cards. And I'm just going to put Gina's. That's right. Originally, Epstein and Maxwell ran Trump. Trump ran that modeling agency, right? And then had the links to the pageants. And a lot of those girls were interested in getting it going in through that door, kind of. So DJT leased his name brand to it, but he was a full partner. I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. With full benefits, I bet, and complete knowledge of the modeling lists. I'm all for it too. I'm all for it as well. He should. He should be. And I thank you for bringing that to my attention. I didn't know that. I bet they will, because the Pope's not. We know that he's not a fan of this kind of thing, and depending upon Tom's local, you know, bishop, whatever, they might do that. Okay, so let's just take a look on how this would fare for Trump really quick. If this leaks, if the Epstein list should somehow get leaked by a little collective of people that are annoyed with Trump. Let's see what we get. Yeah, you're right. They should be looking for the modeling lists. They should be looking also for any names that have a pattern, you know? Yeah, Rudy. Rudy probably doesn't remember where he left it. Sure, Rudy's on there as well. Oh, gross. That other defense lawyer, oh, I can't stand him. He's on there. But let's see how this will be for Trump just publicly. Should this get leaked? How will that be for him? I mean, because this time, MAGA, I wonder if they'll be in a real quandary. Should that be leaked and his name is on there? How is that going to be for Trump if this gets leaked? Foreign threats. I think it's a very real possibility that Russia might team up with people that are engaged in that pursuit of control. He's going to be trying to control. Look, it's funny. It's even got a little crown. Donnie's in a little crown trying to control everything. And I think he knows that it's going to come from maybe Russia's hand. Maybe Russia will put out more things that they have. Who knows? Policy overhaul. Could that mean more sanctions? Um, and interim placeholder. Not sure about that, but oh, stepping down. That doesn't look good. And fraudulent conduct. That could mean it could be the start of for Trump of things catching up with him where his fraud is concerned. I mean, but we get stepping down and fraudulent conduct. So it could really aid, I think, in because I keep getting cards of him stepping down, stepping away, leaving. Yeah, I had not, artist Liz, I had the same reaction. Eh, eh, Oh, and I get retains authority and shadow operation. Judgmental scrutiny. I think it will go, it has a good chance of getting leaked and the public scrutinizing those that are on it and maybe those that they didn't want to think would be on there. Strange relations. Yeah, I bet. Let me just fix something here with my settings on my camera. Oh, it's the virtual background. Just needs, there we go. Needed that. That's a little better. Um, the blame game will come out. You made me do it. Difficult decision. I think it's going to come out. I think he'll still retain some authority. It's not going to mean that he's definitely immediately thrown to the wolves, but I think it starts to do damage. Um, Empty promises. I do. I think more people that have propped him up are going to start to realize that he's full of empty promises. That's why he didn't want to, come out with it. Internal adversary, more people within his admin, I think, are going to become even more combative and at odds with each other. We know that that goes on within that administration, especially. Providing intervention and bound by allegiance. Well, these are the people he's going to still have those that are going to say he wasn't really, he was helping them. That's why he was on that list. Yeah, this kind of thing. So he'll still maintain power, but it's going to contribute to the end of him and creates a change in focus and a collective action. What could that be? To have him step down. Dodging the question. He's not going to, typical thing. And maybe he'll try to focus on housing and infrastructure or something. So, okay, there's the Epstein. All right. So we've got that. I'm going to go now on to your personal questions. But we've got now that there's a list, there's more than one copy of it, and possibly more than one person might have different copies of it. That doesn't terribly surprise me. And it looks like it will get leaked by somebody that's possibly involved with money and business. And we see a lot of fighting going back and forth with this. So I think that answers that. There is a list, indeed. Okay. Let's move to personal questions from subscribers now. Okay. First one up, Jackie. May I have messages my angels and spirit guides want me to know for the rest of this month? Yes. Let's take a look. I'm just deciding on which deck to use. I feel like I want to use the Chakra Oracle by Trish James. Goes with my color situation here. I sure hope that my sound and picture are decent. Okay. Oh, interesting, Rosemary. Thank you for putting that. I will check that out. Please feel free to put that kind of information for all of us to explore. If you know of that, I have in the um, sorry, in the community section, I have posted a 3-part kind of in-depth, very interesting. I'm finding it interesting thing on Epstein, and I'm about halfway through it. I'm probably going to have to listen to it over again because family always interrupts when I'm trying to do anything, really. um, so let's just see what we get. Okay. Jackie B's spirit guides. What's the message for Jackie B? I'm asking my spiritual mentors to continue to help me to read accurately and clearly. I know I've got a head like a rock sometimes. What is the rest of this month, July 2025, going to be like for Jackie? What are the themes? What does she need to think about, be aware of? keep in mind. Thank you. All right. It's kind of awkward shuffling this little deck, but I think I've managed to do it. Okay. They have creative spark that is new, maybe coming into your life where you have a creative spark, maybe wanting to write or sketch or color or try these things out. Okay, keep that in mind. And even if things like, even if I'm saying things that don't sound like, man, this doesn't sound at all like it, just put it on the mental shelf and give it a few months because sometimes these things manifest down the line and I have no control over that. I am just the messenger. Communication balance is going to be focused on as well. So you get creative spark, which is cool. A new creative spark. You're going to have communication going on. I feel like socializing, connecting with other people, maybe on creative fronts, but there's a balance with the between I think creative aspects as well and social communication um, happening. Okay. Neck, shoulders, health. Okay. Pay attention to both your neck and shoulders health. Maybe get a massage, maybe some hot stone therapy or shiatsu, around the neck vertebrae, especially Jackie. And I just get new opportunity. So there's some new things, especially around it looks like creative sparks or things that inspire you. Could be going and looking at exhibits or heck, even books, anything listening to music. Sometimes when I listen to music, it makes me want to write. I start getting like poetry. I don't know. I'm weird, but there you go. So we're looking at creative work, and that can come in all kinds of ways: music, drawing, painting, food. I mean, that's just so broad. But you get also the balance with communication, also issues with your neck and shoulders to be watching for, and just basically some new opportunities that you might want to look out for and consider and take up. Um, Also, sleep balance, okay? Make sure that you're getting enough rest in a consistent fashion. And we get perspective change. So I think maybe with some of that creative new spark, many times a creative spark can help cause a perspective change. So make sure you get enough rest, get out and do creative things. You don't have to leave your house, but if you wanted to, you could. Um, and I think watch your neck and your shoulders. So you said yes. I get hot stone massage 2 weeks from now. What? Shut the front door. That's awesome. Just be mindful and maybe read up on what you can do, slippery, to maintain that health there. They say like when you go to pick things up, don't, use your knees, that kind of thing. Yeah. That's wild that you're going to get that. And I picked up on it. So it sounds like you're on target, but make sure you get enough rest. The the shoulders and neck and creative stuff, communication with people, all good. You got it. And you see a chiropractor too. Well, you're ahead of the game. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Excellent. So just be mindful and do whatever they tell you to do. Like sometimes they might have you ice things and things like that. You know how it goes. I don't have to tell you, but it looks good and enjoy. All right. Next question is Zena. Hello, Maya. Hope you're feeling very well. I'm feeling much better. Thank you. Can I please have some guidance on my love life? It's difficult to meet my person, kind of chronically single. Oh, you and a lot of folks are. It is. It's hard to meet people and then put the investment of the time into it. And then sometimes you figure out, maybe we don't mesh, you know? So let's just see. Let me ask with See, I got a few new decks here. I'm getting this. Sorry about this. I'm getting the light coming in through my um, skylight. And so it changes the whole background and all of that, how that might look. Let me just see if I can fix that a little bit. Mm, all right. Okay. It bothers me. It's a distraction. So this is a Lenormand deck from Latvia. Um, and it's called Luca Decks, and it's their own artwork, I guess. Anyway, I like the artwork, and I wanted to get a Lenormand. So let's try the Lenormand on your reading. Okay, Zena? All right, let me try shuffling this tiny deck. Good thing I have small hands. Okay. Is there someone yet that Zena has to meet? Is there someone there? And what is the advice I'm asking guides for her, for you, in the meantime? What do you need to know? She's tired of being single, guides. She's tired of it. Can you please help her to meet a nice, uh, attractive person? And what does she need to know about meeting someone for companionship? Okay, let's see what we get. All right. These are matte. There's no gloss on these. Okay, we're getting the fox. So that can be people that are sneaky, and not always truthful. And it's paired with the star. You've been through if right away, this makes me feel like dealing with those that have not been truthful, may have cheated, this kind of thing. And you are being guided. It's dark right now. You're still in the darkness yet, but you are progressing through. Okay. You're not stagnant despite the fact it feels that way. This makes me feel with the different sky hue that you are this figure that is moving toward your destiny and who you're meant to meet. And you're leaving the dishonesty type, behind. Also, with this star, I feel like, let me just get to 16. You're shining a light. Let your light shine for sure. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. All right. So it's about precision and clarity, and it's aligning like I was saying, with your best direction for guidance, like I was saying, being guided through. And I think, as I was saying, leaving this kind of more deceitful energy behind, having more clarity on that, also has the signature of wireless internet. Okay, just in case you wanted to know that. And electricity, and signifies the north. Okay. The northern hemisphere, constellations, what else? Stars give us clarity and brings good judgment. Well, I think the next person you meet is going to be much better than what you have had in the past with the fox. This makes me feel with the star that you are being guided once again toward a healthier individual. And so I do feel like you do have someone on your horizon, but you are progressing toward them. Okay. So just know that each day brings you closer to meeting that person. All right. And stars also signify the esoteric, otherworldly, and that it's a fortunate card as an effect. Just trying to skim through some of the little booklet because there's things here I've never known about with regard to the Lenormand. And it's inspiring. Uh, there is direction, there is harmony, there is good judgment. Um, the universe is behind this. There's prophecy, there's dreams, and divine providence. That means, again, the divine looking out for you, which is good. You want them to do that and continue to ask them to bring you someone that they know is best for you. So we're getting a blessing for you here where this is concerned, and that you're moving toward a brighter, more honest person. That's good. Let me just go back and look at my things here. And we get the woman. I feel like that's you. And we get the tower. I see now this in this deck, the tower is not destruction and all of that. This is actually a protective energy. Um, so I feel like you do have someone that you're going to meet, someone that's perhaps a professional. Part of that comes with this tower card, and that might be also very protective of you, might even work security in some way. It's just something that came to me. May not be neither here nor there. But I feel like you certainly do have someone on your horizon, and you're continuing to progress towards them. And let's just see what else with that tower. I'm curious what they will say. I think you are changing your energy to align as well, because the star is also about alignment and precision for a different kind of person than you've met before. Okay, where's the tower? Did it 19? Oops. So the tower is anything that's official, ambitious, can be institutional, but also lofty or tall. Maybe he'll be tall. That'd be awesome. um, Administrative, executive, bureaucratic, that's traditional. Uh, it can be government, and it can also describe kind of the energy of an individual. And I think they could work have a kind of an official job that's, like I said, a professional, like a little bit more kind of a lofty career, perhaps. Let's see what else we get. Business they could be also in business. But again, like I'm saying, office, a firm, business, institutional uh, types of jobs, law. They can be working in government or, for the government types of, and we get um, also being, they may have also been alone for a while. Okay. And what else here? I'm just trying to kind of squeeze this as best I can. Again, people would be like, again, a professional, lawyer, official. It'll be the mayor, municipal building, communal apartments, whatever that means. But if more in a, they would have a more of an official capacity, I think, more of a professional. I get crossroads. So then you come to a crossroads. So there's going to be a choice where you have to take action. All right. And what's this about? The sun. This is great. There's going to be clarity. And I think you will take, because you're being guided by the star, I think you will make a good choice. That's why it was saying good judgment. And I think you will meet that person. Um, the ship, there is travel or movement and anchor, and there is stability. So I think there is a better person for you ahead. And you are just being kind of polished as you go towards meeting this person. You will come to that crossroads of where you, I think, cross paths and you get the sun. It's joyous, it's clarity, there's warmth, and there might be some travel involved. And there is movement and also progression, I think, with the relationship and stability. So, with the anchor, someone that isn't a complete kook, or a liar and a player. That sounds really great. Okay. All right. Okay, JR, yeah, we can do that. I will star your thing and switch it out. So it looks very good for you, uh, Tina, to clear and polish your own energy up as you move toward it. And like I said, just know every day is one day closer because you will come to that crossroads and you get the sun. Hi, Walter. It's great that you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. We're just doing the personal questions. I already read on the Epstein ones, which will be in the first part of the live. So you might be interested playing that part back if you didn't catch it. Oh wow. Cena says, it's exactly what it feels like you're being polished. That's so fun because it's just the word that comes to me as I feel like you're step by step, you know, going down in the road in development, or should I say you're, elevating your energy. And it's just not going to be right to be with people that aren't going to treat you right. You're just not doing it. So it looks really, really good for you. All right. Now we get Gina. Let's see. Okay. Yes. Let's go back to and use. That was fun to use that deck. I'm going to make more use of the Lenormand. I always enjoy using it. Just a second, guys. I got to put the lipstick on because I'm getting dry lips. I can't stand that. I will end up biting my lip. And this is by Revlon. It is, if you like it, iced coffee. Okay. All right. Next one. Let's see which deck. Let me try. I will go back and use this regular. Oh, is that one? Wait. Oh, no, that's okay. That's not the one I was looking at. All right, let's try this one for the Cancer. See if we can see. Hi, Maya. Do you see me with either Cancer? One is slightly younger than me, and one is slightly older. Okay, let's see what we get. So with Gina, is she going to be, well, which cancer might she end up with? The older one or the younger one? Please, guides, help me to read this accurately and clearly. For Gina, will she end up spending more time with the younger or the older person of the Cancer sign? Okay, see what we get. I get the Seven of Wands. There's a defensiveness here. It's a challenge. You have to be courageous, brave. All right. And I get the High Priestess. Well, there's some secrets here. There's also using your intuition with this, where this is concerned. It can come through dreams, and maybe one of them will make you feel, I don't know, a certain way that puts you on guard or makes you feel like you have to, I don't know, feel more defensive. Would that make even any sense? Let me see. Gina and Xena, they do rhyme. And we get the Six of Cups. We get harmony, childhood, reconciliation, maybe the younger one, because there is an aspect on the past and on childhood. They're not wanting to show us entirely here for some reason. Or maybe is one of them more a defensive person in some way rather than entirely more chill, you know? You might have somebody that's more on defensive type, maybe. Let me just see what else we get with this. We get the Six of Cups plus the Page of Pentacles. Money, talent, skill. And to me, this is a younger person and learning, I feel like literature for some reason. And the Six of Cups, something where that you'd have in common, maybe school even, or things that you were subject matter that you were interested in. I don't know if any of this rings a bell to you. But there's competition between them. And you get the Queen of Cups. So this would be the older cup. I didn't get the king, but I did get the queen. And I didn't get, like, let's say, the knight. So I think you're going to get the older one. Their intuition just seems maybe to more flow with your own because of the high priestess. Maybe that wavelength spiritually maybe end up being more in common with the older cups person. So I'm getting that Queen of Cups. Something from the past. There is something nostalgic. And again, I think you would get that with somebody that's older. You get the Three of Cups. Maybe you'll keep them both. As long as everyone knows. But Five of Swords. There's could be someone that's not 100 in that little social that in that group, and maybe it's the younger one. I don't know. Someone may not be completely upfront. Some people might just have a tendency to tell stories or exaggerate. It can cause some issues. I think it's not going to happen immediately, but I think you're going to end up choosing out of the two, the older of the two, the Chariot. And the Seven of Pentacles. This is being patient and moving on. So I do think that you're going to end up, I think, with the older of the two. And I think there is definitely a sense of competition going on. So there you have it, Gina. I'm going to say the older one. All right. Keep me in the loop. What happens there? That looked interesting. All right. Next, artist Liz. Okay. And I'm going to correct JR's question. All right. And then, so we have artist Liz, then we'll have Isabel, Charlene, Lynette, and JR. Okay. All righty. Here we go. So, hi, Maya. My birthday was July 9th. Anything good for this year? Well, first off, happy belated birthday, my dear. And many, many more. Let's just see what we get. I feel like using a different deck. Let's try. Um, let's see, would this one be good? Yeah, let's try this. Going to use the sugar-coated oracle, and this is from Trish James. Let's see how it works. For the rest, I love the artwork that she chooses as well. I think it's really attractive, and I just pretty. All right, let's get this shuffled up. For artist Liz, what is the rest of her July? What does she need to be aware of for the rest of her July? Oh, I'm sorry, for the rest of this year. Because she's just had her annual sojourn around the sun. So, what do you want to share with artist Liz for her year now that she's had her birthday? What is the things that she needs to be aware of? Um, what does it look like is ahead? And thank you for artist Liz. And again, if you are just lurking, don't forget to put a thumbs up, please. Thank you. Artist Liz. For the rest of 2025, what does she need to be aware of? All right, let's see what we get. Embrace change. Be brave. Isn't she pretty? I just love her cards. Like I said, I'm girly. Embrace change. Be brave. Aren't they cute? Grow from this learning experience this year. Lots to grow from. You're doing a lot of growth. That's good. And that would make sense with change because that's what's happening. Okay. So what else? Celebrate well-earned success. You know, even the small things. Make sure that you celebrate the things that you accomplish because you know when certain things can be more difficult for you and not everybody else does. So make sure you give yourself some well-earned pats on the back. And it looks like maybe even some socializing. And again, plan to succeed. We're talking about mindset, plan to succeed. And there is maybe affirmations, writing things down, and we have set clear goals. So I've just done that recently, oddly enough. Some things I need to take care of here at home that I have just simply got to do. And I'm going to be starting on that officially tomorrow. So plan to succeed. Don't be afraid. Don't procrastinate. I feel like, you know, even put reminders on your phone. I get worth it. Hard work and effort, that goes along with the success and what you're putting into yourself and wherever. I feel like it is personal growth and heart mending. This year is a time to heal, and especially around things of your feelings and your feelings about yourself, um, and really coming into your own. I feel like remembering that you are a divine, eternal, beautiful creature that's amazing. So that when people say something that's not so nice or project their nonsense, you can just wave it off, you know, because it's their problem. Also, sleep on it. Good night's rest. Sleep and rest is important, and just chill. Embrace the calm. Be good with that. And I'm sure since you've had medical issues, you certainly probably are aware. Thank you so much for those that are giving me the thumbs up. I appreciate that. So you're getting a good deal of growth is going on with you, especially this year, and it's going to continue. Make sure that that you celebrate those little victories, even though they might not seem like much to other people. Who cares? Pat yourself on the back and continue to make plans for things that you want to succeed and achieve with. We're seeing that the hard work that you put into it's going to be worth it. You will succeed. It's worth it. And that I feel like the heart, issues of feelings with other people, I think as we become stronger in our self identity and we kind of rest in God's love, it helps a lot when other people say things or do things that hurt us. And I think you're coming more into that maturity here. And just to make sure you get enough rest when you need to. No need to be like burning your candle at both ends at all. And that it's good for you to chill. Make sure that you do take TLC, your personal spa day at home if you can't get out as well. You know, enjoy yourself and love and care for yourself. Spoil yourself. Let's see, just a couple more. Take control. Yeah, take your power back. Don't let uh, don't let others manipulate your feelings. Know what they're up to. And overworked. So work smarter, not more. That goes with that change, changing your routine a little bit. So just keep those things in mind. Replay this if you need to. You know what to do. All right, artist Liz, you are more than welcome. All right. Now we go to Isabel. Any messages from the divine? You betcha. You bet there are. Let's see. Let me just see. I know I've got other decks around here. Just want to make sure I give them all a chance. I've moved some of them and put them in a great big box. So, okay, let's use this one. I don't know how you pronounce this deck maker's name. Maruka X. Maruka X. This is off of Etsy. All right. Let's see what we get from the divine and your guides. For Isabel, like a message from Spirit for Isabel with things of her concern. What does she need to be aware of? Things for her to think over and keep in mind, because this world screws with you, makes you think sometimes that you're not worth $1, but baby, you're worth 1,000,000. And that's the truth. So let's see. Isabel, messages from her guides, from the divine source The beloved one. What is your message for Isabel? Okay, let's see what we get. Now, this deck is a little different, but let's just see if it works. Okay, we're getting mirror, and it talks about triggers and mirroring. Situations are revealing parts of you that still need acceptance. Okay, so that's saying that there's parts of you that still need acceptance. And maybe it's a part of you that you might need to accept, because we can never make other people accept us. Well, many times it's a part of us accepting, like, that we are truly eternal, divine creatures. We are not just this body. And so this has, with the mirror, it has to do with identity as well, um, and who you see in the mirror and reflecting back to you. I feel like accepting yourself, being able to accept yourself maybe fully. We get rocking chair. The advice here is when you have doubts, this is like that come and go when you keep going, getting stuck between believing and doubting. And these two are kind of together. So that might be an issue. I have things like this happen where I go back and forth with self-doubt and things. It says, don't let indecision keep you stuck while you are waiting to be certain. Um, Also, don't expect yourself to be perfect because you are fine just the way you are. That doesn't mean don't try and better yourself, obviously, but don't expect perfection because your eternal being is perfect. None of us on earth are ever going to be perfect because this planet is not that way. This is a planet of duality. We can just focus on, I feel like, the work within that needs to happen. So many of us are focused on the outside as well, looking to find it from outside. So this is really talking about doubts maybe about who you are, or it, how you feel about yourself, maybe. And I think this is learning to be kind to yourself and accept yourself. If this makes any sense whatsoever, it's something I've had to do. I get that, Isadora, and I can't stand that when I stay awake all night. Sometimes I just do. I also get lamp, so we're getting light. This means new ideas, insight, and guidance, and clarity. I think things that within, again, that you've gone back and forth in doubt with, or you're going to get clarity. Okay, Isabel? And I get craft room. And it's about creativity, talent, and vision. And let your full expression flow freely and open the gateway to creation. Maybe some of your doubt is on whether or not you can create certain things or you're artistic enough or whatever. Don't let that trip you up. Don't wait until you are, let's say, if it is artistry, um, a better artist. Make things now, you know, don't wait. Don't wait for uh, things to be better, you know? Um, what else? The craft room, this really is saying, Isabel, that you need to let that expression, your creative expression, have an outlet, not to deprive it. Um, and don't let I'm getting the psychic heat. Can you see my face is flushing? Hold on a second. I pull up the hair. Whew, whew. And it really is about believing in yourself, and that, not like you have to be an artist to do certain things or whatever. Do it. Just do it. There we go. Oh, and find that expression. Allow it to flow freely. Don't let what other people might cause you to doubt about yourself. Don't let it stop you. Picture frames, memories, the past, history. The past resurfaces temporarily. Approach its return openly. Okay. And that might be where some of these issues are that you're clearing up, um, and where you need to accept a, a more positive opinion, maybe, about yourself and not doubt. Let go of the doubt. Don't let it drain your energy. Just go for it. And we get security with house, stability, and shelter. So focus on nurturing stability and change whatever does not. So holding on to what is helpful in life and releasing what is not. And first aid kit, urgent preparedness, safety. Stay prepared for unforeseen circumstances by planning ahead. You know, that really literally could be a first aid kit, making sure you have band-aids in the cupboard by the kitchen, this kind of thing, or in your car. Um, Making sure that you think ahead, make sure you got your keys, your glasses, your wallet, whatever, being prepared. That's part of also some of your advice. And I'm going to take it a step further and say that you need to be, I think, giving yourself the same kind of care that you would someone you love. And you need to be someone that you love. So don't feel weird about that. And you get fan, cool off, keep calm, and breathe. By willing to adjust your stance in situations where there is tension. So be flexible. All right. As well. I think that's you're a Virgo, so am I. You have my empathy. I am a Virgo with Pisces moon and ascendant. So yeah, it makes things muddy. But it's a good one. You've got some good things there, okay? And remember to relax and calm. We also have a tendency to get to be like worry warts. We have to release that and let it go, worrying that we're not maybe good enough to do this or that, or, you know, throw that old rigid book out the window. Go out the comfort zone. Okay. Oh, we got another one. Yay. All right. On to Charlene. Okay. Did Carney, my nose is starting to get a bit drippy. Hang on, let me get my tissue. Did Carney boot Trump from the G7 because he made lewd remarks about Italian Prime Minister? Gosh, so embarrassing. All right, let's see what we get. Let me put this. I'm just going to grab my regular tarot, Rider Waite, and get yes, no. Did Carney boot Trump from the G7 because he made lewd remarks about Italian Prime Minister? Why does he have to make filthy, say sexual things? It's just embarrassing. So cringy. Okay, let's see what we get. And then we have JR's question for the last. All right, so Charlene, did Carney boot Trump from the G7 because of his lewd remarks about the Italian Prime Minister? Let's see what we get. Yes or no? This would be a yes for me. This is a King of Pentacles. I'll have to look up and see what Carney's birth date is. And yeah, I think we get the card of loss. I think that for Trump, it made him feel like he didn't quite belong. Queen of Wands and the Fool. I think also wanting to make sure he didn't say even more foolish nonsense as he is wont to do. Um, so yes, I think that had something to do with it, and preventing him especially from continuing the foolishness, because he's so foolish he'll walk right off a cliff. Um, and they felt like they had more success. I think they felt better for not having him there with that 6. Yeah, because he creates division and uh, icky feelings, anger as well. So I think Carney felt victorious in not having him there. And I think he did make some kind of effort because he has a feeling like he won something with that 6 of Wands. So, yes, I think he did. Okay. All righty, Ray. Here is the last question of the live. Okay. So, can you describe my personality, physical appearance, job? Okay. I will try that deck and see if I can and see what I get. Let's see, where did it go? I think I used the chakra deck. All right. I feel like I've got an eyelash here, but I don't think I do. I just don't usually wear mascara during the week. Okay, let's get this one really. Oh, this octagon is interesting to shuffle, but I can do it. All right. Now let me focus on you, JR. And forgive me if I don't get everything right, guys. I don't claim to be super psychic. But I have my moments. I have my moments. All right. So let's see. Can you show me, guides, through these cards, the type of person? Maybe it was the sugar coated. Was it the sugar coated? I think it was the sugar coated deck I used. Let me try that one. Or was it that? Yeah. All right. Let's just try this one. I'll try these two and see how it goes. All right. Okay. So can we get I'm going to try both of these decks. Some sort, or was it the Sibylla? Oh, it was the Sibylla. Yeah, forgive me. After you've read so many, you start to. It's probably a good thing it's my last reading for the night till I get a little bit of a break. All right. And the Sibylla, I love that color. Comes with that. Oop, phew, about dropped it. Booklet. All right. Oh, and it gave me that's a collectible deck. Anyway, and it's from James Battersby. So you might see his stuff online a lot if you're curious about this, getting a deck like this. He also does like the groovy tarot. All right. Let's go. Using the Sibylla. And that Lenormand deck as well was something I was using. But I forgot. But gotta shut this one. All right. Let's go. JR. Uh, okay. I'm asking my spiritual guides and JRs to reveal her person that she hopes to meet, um, and anything about them that she might need to know. Be good for her to know or be aware. He's a constant embarrassment. Yes, I agree. Beautiful colors. This deck does have beautiful colors. And so does Trish James's deck. Decks. All right. And I can also try that. This is the last question. I can also try that Lenormand that I just set down. Oh, it's right there. Duh. Okay. For JR. Who is the person that is on her horizon for companionship? She would like to meet someone. Is someone on that horizon? What can you tell us about them through the use of these decks? And myself. Okay, see what we got. Okay. Huh. I don't know. I'm getting the enemy known, and I'm getting soldier. This might be somebody from the past again. I don't know if there was somebody in the military at all, ever. There's a really negative card connected to that. All right. Is it? I should probably do a reading on her. I haven't done one in years. I'm getting someone that is thoughtful. Now it's starting to come through. We're moving towards someone thoughtful and gift of precious stones. Maybe a gift giver. I get stanza, the room. I gotta look up what that one is. And I'm getting the scholar. This might be somebody that's a teacher um, of some sort. Maybe literature or, like, or art, classic works. I'm getting like classics, a sense of that, but that could just be my brain. I do too. I like gifts as well. I see someone that is thoughtful. Did you ever date anyone that was in the military for some reason that you had a negative experience with? I'm just curious why I got those cards. But I'm getting someone that is definitely, I feel like, has had higher learning with the El Pensiero and the gift of precious stones. I feel like they're also saying that he thinks because it's the Queen of Diamonds in this Sibylla deck, I feel like he would think well of women, that they are like precious. All right. And now the room, let me just check on that because it's been a hot minute. Now the room is throwing me a bit. It's also listed under the Queen of Pentacles. Not Pentacles, Diamonds. Sorry. It's one. All right. Let me see. So it's an ace. All right. See if I can find this. Oop. All right. Let's see. No, we're not on hearts. Let's find the diamonds. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really enjoyed it. I really do. Okay, so now we're here. Here we go with the room. Well, it's about expectant news, good news in matters of love and engagement. Um, so the room card represents your intimate living space. In this room, two empty chairs are visible. Okay. And it's suggesting a guest is about ready to arrive or a meeting is planned. The pen and ink represent writing or signaling something. Ironically, the word verse is also called a stanza. A personal letter, documents or communication. A room represents a study, home, or office. Nowadays, a computer, phone, printer, fax would convey the same idea. Paying bills, communications of all kinds, making and receiving phone calls, waiting for the arrival of someone. That's what I think it is. And I get the scholar. I think he's a kind of a bookworm, maybe a little bit of a scholarly bookish type. Nothing wrong with that. He's very thoughtful. And I feel like writing or poetry, or he's learned in these things maybe. Never dates someone. Okay, don't worry about it. And let's see what else I'm getting. There may have been, I feel like there's overcoming tragedy, some kind of tragedy or difficulty, and now there is happiness, there is dancing. But there was some sort of a tragedy overcoming. Happiness of the heart. The great gentleman. We have the great gentleman showing up. And again, with the letter, there is something about, I think, again, with that energy earlier that I was picking up with him being with the scholar, the literariness. This is someone that's very articulate, I would say, and maybe more into texting. Um, I feel like they'll have gone through some sort of possible hardship in their life, but be on the other side of it and feeling very grateful, very happy at this time. But there is some sort of letter. There is in the great gentleman. So I feel like there is a man out there. He is on the horizon, possibly connected to literature, uh, scholar, academic works. Could be a teacher. Doubt that he's a priest, but we get priest. Maybe he's interested in spiritual aspects. Or he may not like religion. That says the enemy next to the priest. So it could be somebody that has had difficult situation, maybe through with religion, is not a fan. We have travel. They've probably traveled. And we get carefreeness. And I get that they also don't like jealousy. They like being free. So I think that that is what I'm picking up that makes any sense to me. And that's really distinct. So you'll have to, you might, if you come across someone, they may not even be say that they're interested in let's say classic literature or whatever. Um, but this person has the energy of somebody to me that's probably gone to college and has probably some kind of degree. Um, if not, they're very self educated, which can happen. But we did get scholared. So that energy is more academic, kind of a brainiac. And yeah, he could be a teacher. That's definitely the energy, somebody that could do that. So I think he's a good fit, and I think he's gone through some hardships. I do. There's some things that come up that looks like he's gone through some tough things in life. So just be open. Um, Make sure that you no matter whether you're online considering someone or out in public, just be open. Okay. All right, you guys. I guess that is it. That is it. I will ask just for out of curiosity how Tom Homan feels about this excommunication thing. I'm very curious about that. So let's see. When's his birthday? Before I Somebody was also asking about the twin flame thing. I feel like I missed something. Did I miss something? Thank you. I'm glad that you guys appreciate me. I really, really appreciate it. Let me just double check. Nope. Okay. All right. So let's just look and see. Last thing is how I got to find his birthday. That's right. Homan is going to feel about being possibly excommunicated. I always have to look up this dude's birthday. Tom Homan. Okay, when's his birthday? Let me see. Thought I had this date. Let me put date. Okay, November 28th. So he is a Sag. He's a Wands. So that's more than likely. You asked about it. That's right. Did I not read it? Okay, I do have that one. All right. I will read on that. Okay. This is the last question. Sorry about that, Lynette. It's just that it was hiding in between two other questions and my eyes skipped it. So let's see. What do we need to know about, you know what? Investigative deck. Predictions. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? This one will be fine. Let's just try using the predictions deck for them. Actually, maybe the personal prediction would be better. The personal prediction one. All right. So let's go. Okay, let's read on the Twin Flames cult being raided by the the Michigan Attorney General. How's that going to play out? How is that going to play out? What is going to happen with the Michigan Attorney General investigating the twin flames, was it universe, whatever? Yeah, cult. Thanks for staying on here with me. I love you guys. So much fun. All right. How will that go, that investigation into that cult? The Twin Flames cult. Okay, let's see what we get. I get rest and relax, home, family. Maybe there's a break or something. Love and connection, making progress. Maybe also looking at families that are connected to this. I don't know. It looks to me like there's also taking a little bit of, at least in the past, a break. But now we're looking at family, we're looking at the relationships, it looks like within that group I'm getting, and making progress. Okay. Strength is needed because I think they're going to find out things that are probably ick. And changing direction. This makes me think that there's going to be like twists and turns of things that we don't expect to come out. And so they could unearth other things that they're doing that are not legal or moral. Protect your energy. I feel like that's when people within them trying to protect themselves, maybe, and stay the same status quo. So anybody trying to protect themselves, I think, and not conform, there's going to be a problem within any kind of cult. Looks like we have them looking at that, looking at people that may have objected, needed protecting, and those that I think enabled certain things to go on to keep things status quo and not create any change. This, keeping things the same. Truth revealed. Well, that makes sense because, like I said, I'm getting cards that make me feel like there's a whole bunch of stuff that's odd that will be unearthed with connection to this criminal activity in this group, this cult. And we have caring for others. Now, that's the vulnerable people that want to be, I think, cared for and join these groups. And we get avoid or keep to yourself. I think maybe there's going to be people, this is people speaking out, former members. I think about what, helping with the investigation about how people are treated, that you have to keep to yourself if you don't agree, if you don't conform. And maybe you might join in anticipating that you'll be looked after or that they really care about you. But then you find the slightest thing, you have to conform. End of the battle. I think it's going to be the end of the cult. And boredom, inactivity. Maybe that's what it started from. And ending that. And then they got successful. We get celebrate. Hopefully that's being successful at investigating. Yeah. And again, proceed carefully. So this is going to take some time. I think they're going to uncover various things that kind of make them have to go in another direction. Like it said, change direction, explore what this is about. So I feel like there's going to be other issues that come up that will how they treated people there, other crimes within this crime, and how to maintain success as well. Eggshells in that cult, not a surprise. Um, and here's the scales. This is justice, and this says you need balance. So I think justice is going to be very active in this case, and especially where they may have made miraculous claims. You need balance, and we've got this kind of a miraculous miracle. But in this case, because of the nature of the cult and things and what they said and claimed, I think it's going to show them to be way out there. There's going to be an end. There's completing a cycle. And we get tension escalates. They're not going to like it. I'm sure they're not. Beautify, glow up, and I get big news. It could be beautify, glow up, big news. I wonder if this would be somebody that was like, I don't know anything about this. I'll have to watch the thing. But I wonder if it has to do with well-known people or somewhat well-known people um, that have been a part of this. Speaking out, beautify, glow up, big news. Relief answers. So we're going to get answers, and we're going to find out, I think, a lot more than we bargained for. Um, there's career advance. So I'm sure things where advancing within that group are concerned. There's all kinds of stuff I think they had to do, and it looks like you have very narcissistic leaders where you have to walk on eggshells, that initially they might seem like they're just great, and then it looks like you start realizing that you're finding yourself being pressured, coercive control to behave or change yourself. Looks like the end of the road for them. More information about things that they're involved in is going to come out. And not surprisingly, how they were doing things. What else? The social connection, I think probably looking at social media posts that they've made. I thought this was in 2023. I have no idea. And emotionally overwhelming. Maybe they did stuff on social media and said stuff about others. I don't know. That was the emotional overwhelming aspect, trying to make people overwhelmed, maybe by humiliating them, especially if they're trying to leave the group or whatever. What else do I get? I get mental struggles. So there's mental health issues going on within that group. Not a surprise. And time to reflect. They're going to have time to reflect. And that's going to come out or go, be something that this public has access to about them. Fixing the problem. So I think this ends up getting sorted out, and we get be open to receive. I think they're going to receive information from other people, prepare and organize, and a choice will be made. I think in the directions that they go. I think there's more information that is being pursued about them. So, all right, now I'm going to take a look at Tom Homan and just see how that's going to go. with the excommunication real quick out of curiosity and how he'd feel about it. So I think that the investigation into that twin flame cult is active, or was active. I don't know if it still is, but it looks like they're definitely looked at people. More information being found out. Messy is the feeling I get. Mentally screwy and messy. Okay. Now, Tom Homan is rumored to be being considered for excommunication from the Catholic Church. Is this so, and will it happen? Will he be excommunicated? I guess that's really the main question. Will Tom Homan be excommunicated from the Catholic Church? Yes or no? That's our last question. Will he be excommunicated by the Catholic Church? I wish that he would come back and be a human being. Will Tom Homan end up being excommunicated by the Catholic Church or not? Well, we got a lot of pride going on with the Nine of Cups, and he's feeling like Mr. Big Shorts. We have the Nine of Wands, which is him defending himself. And I think there is some damage that it does to him. If they are pursuing this, it could end up causing him to feel a bit beaten up. Like that pride's going to cost you. You want to be like that? Okay. And there is some kind of a loss. There is feeling not everything is gone for him, but there's something, a lot here that's been lost that is not retrievable if that happens. With the Five of Cups and the King of Swords, this could be Trump. And he could lose it because of his connection to Trump and what he does for Trump, obviously, and what he says and does. I get the Knight of Swords. This is making haste. This is sudden. This is swift. And this energy and then waiting. I think there's a hostility there and there's a push to do it, but I think he's going to end up just having to wait and see what happens. And I think he would have a pretty aggressive reaction to it with the Knight of Swords. Again, this is patience. Somebody is wanting to do things in a very measured, thorough manner. Maybe if they're going to do that. And then I get the Knight of Wands. This is a directed, active effort after a pause and consideration of how to handle something. And we had that here where he's having to wait. I think they're not clear, but I think they are thinking about it. And here we have the Magician. This is communication as well as taking action. And as we know, Catholic Church is very ritualistic, and this would represent the altar, the chalice, and all of that. And we get the Fool. So, is it this them? Are they going to cut him loose? Kind of looks that way. This is a completion card, the World, and Success, and the Wheel of Fortune. The World and the Wheel of Fortune, sorry. So there's a change coming, and there's an ending, and a new beginning. And it is by action. they may make a statement on this that they are considering it, and they may finally end up doing it. There is arguing about it with the Five of Wands, and then, it has to do with his lack of care, his disconnection from people, his indifference. And I think he might say that he doesn't really care, but there's going to be other people around that do. He's, I think, a pretty disconnected person. His energy is really yucky. The Five of Pentacles, so there's a decline, and this is being left out. I think they could end up doing it. And the past. This would be like the past was better than the present. So going forward, I think he could end up facing that possibly. At this time, it looks like they are considering it. And it would bother him. It would. Whether he'd want to admit that or not is another thing. He'd probably say it doesn't, but I think it really would when it comes back and you're thinking about childhood and a lot of memories and things around. Maybe, I don't know if his family was super Catholic or not, but I think it would bother him a bit. There's the Two of Cups. This is reunion or coming together. And we get the Page of Swords. Is kind of, well, there's news of that. They're keeping an eye on him. Ace of Swords, clarity, and alone. The Hermit. I think he will end up eventually, quite possibly, being excommunicated. Right there. Those cards look like eventually, I think the church decides this is too much. And somebody there might need to, not need, but somebody there in his local or whoever can do that may end up excommunicating him. I don't know why I would get the Hermit and all that change. That just feels like he's walking away alone and looking like the Five of Pentacles, like he's not wanted. The door, and actually on that Five of Pentacles, that's a door to a church. Not for nothing. Why didn't I? Now I've shuffled it now. But that's the door to a church and it's closed and the people can't get in on the Five of Pentacles. So I don't think it looks very good for him. All right. I think it's very possible that he will be at some end of the day. I just get endings, new beginnings, and him looking like he doesn't feel like he's welcome there. All right. That's the end of the live. Thank you guys so much for hanging around. And it was a lot of fun. And next week, Sunday, I will be back. I'm usually back unless there's a health issue. So just make sure that you put your questions in early because it goes fast. And I guess that's it. All right, guys. Thank you so, so much. Thank you for making donations and commenting, thumbing up my videos. I love you and I'm praying for you. I am. I've got my candles on the family altar burning and I do lift you guys up. So take care and I will see you again soon. And probably we'll be getting a video out in the next few days. All right. On Kilgallen. Okay. Bye-bye.